the Daytona 24 hours, the classic Rolex 24 at Daytona is back to its absolute best, and we're green and racing for 2022. Big jump from the pole sitter, Philippe Albuquerque. Tristan Vautier trying to get back to him now. Split start. So here come the GTs with the Lamborghini down on the inside. The bright yellow Huracan gets a decent start. The plaid Porsche coming over the top. Might be a challenge for the lead here by Mathieu Jaminet. He's got position. Very cold Michelin tyres, and look what's going on behind in the GT category, and at the front of the prototype field it's getting feisty early as they go through the kink down towards the Western Horseshoe for the first time, and the pole sitter has been usurped through into the lead. The second place car on the grid, Tristan Vautier and Kamui Kobayashi, motors past the pole sitter into second. Pole sitter has not even lasted to the end of the infield section before it's down to third position for Philippe Albuquerque. Jeremy,
by the way, we've just completed lap 4, fastest lap there on that last lap by our race leader Tristan Vautier, 1 minute 34.699. That's only a tenth of a second away, John, from the lap record which was set by Felipe Nasser in 2019 at a 34.504. So yeah, okay, Kamui Kobayashi. Oh, okay, I was watching the next group of 3 cars. Kamui had already gone. So Kamui Kobayashi in that Ally Cadillac car number 48 into the lead of this race, taking advantage of some traffic there. To who's this coming in right now? Is that our race leader?
It is.
Yes.
Race leader into the pit lane then. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
I think this will be a bit early for the first pit stop. Degrees Fahrenheit. 88 Fahrenheit on the track, Jeremy. So cool air going into the engines, fat air as the drag races used to call it. That'll help with the power delivery, and warmth on the track to the DPIs, and that was helped by the fact that we had some wet running. It didn't help. Oh, touch for the leader there, passing traffic, and a big sideways moment coming out of the International Horseshoe for Kamui Kobayashi. That will have woken up the Japanese driver if he wasn't already alert. Next up, Frederick Scharndorf in the Lexus, and ahead of that the other McLaren, that's John Miller in the copper-coloured car, and it's one either side. Pipo Derani tries to go for the position, it's 5th, he's trying to take. Big bump on the inside of 6th that I haven't really noticed. Trying to work that one out themselves. They simply don't have the data, the kind of temperatures. Oh, huge incident. This is the Aero Motorsport prototype. It's down at turn 6, coming back onto just before the apex of turn 6. Full course yellow is out immediately. One of the marshals trying to stop him from moving it. He was in, okay, he lost it behind another prototype. So that's interesting. What was going on there? Did he just lose concentration and over brake, or did he get too close to the back of the car ahead of him? Dan Goldberg speeding in the pit lane, only by 1 kilometre an hour, but that will get him a drive-through penalty as well. 38 and 22 then drive-throughs. Car 8, the Tower car, getting a stop plus 60 for running the red at the end of the pit lane. Now, can he get it stopped down the inside, or will the 0-1 of Sebastian Bourdais get him back? I think it did. Oh, there's a touch behind, and one of the Aston Martins was touched there, and the AF Corsa WRC driver, it was all, oh no, he spun on his own. There was the 27 Aston on the inside had caught the through into turn 1 on the transition, a little bit beyond the edge. He's turned it in a little bit too sharply. No, absolutely no blame attached to the following Lamborghini, and none either to the driver of the Lexus, which is, I think, has got the worst of all of that.
For Cadillac Racing, the Chip Ganassi team in 0-1 is 4th. Elio Castroneves has taken over from Tom Blomqvist, running in 5th position. That car, we'll have to keep an eye on this, went longer than everybody else.
We get GTP back next year. What was the last winner in GTP here in Daytona? requires a bit of looking up. Been suggested to me that it might have been a Toyota. Now we've got a huge part of under tray that has been dislodged and left, fortunately, off the track in the runoff area into what is now the Le Mans chicane. Motul, Faf, Porsche, they are absolutely side by side, a little bit of weaving, a little bit of side drafting, trying to get the advantage super late on the brakes from the Alessio Piccarello driven car. Alessio, a Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific supported driver. The back is turn one now, sun very much in the eyes of the drivers, and it's the Ally Cadillac that came off worse there with the 0-1 of Sebastian Bourdais running into the back of Jose Maria Lopez, a man who has 2 World Championship in 2 different circuit disciplines to his name, of course, in World Touring Cars and in the FIA World Endurance Championship. Now he was on his own, catching up with the BMW number 25. Big lock up going into turn 6 and went off the track and then had to turn clockwise, i.e. the opposite way to where he wanted. He had to turn right because he was going at relatively fast speeds towards the tyre barrier that separates turn 6 from turn 1. Incident down at turn 5. And it's brought out the full course yellow. The Porsche number 34 with Kyle Washington at the wheel is looking very un-Porsche-like. As he came round, I think he was just trying to warm the tyres up a little bit. Did he get a tap from behind? Oh, he may have.
No, I don't think he did.
It was very close with the next prototype behind there. But Miguel was hard on the brakes and just managed to stop the car from hitting the wall. It would have been the left rear possibly, or the right rear of that car that got hit. There was no sign of any damage. So coming to the line, here's the restart, and it's Will Stevens who will lead a lap. And this is his first restart at Daytona. Rookie this year, goes down into turn 1. Big move by the MSR Acura. Helio Castroneves trying to make up a couple of positions there. He was very wide into turn 1. Did he pull that off? I think he might have made up 1 position. He was looking for a little more return on his investment round the outside there. Huge gaggles of GTD cars coming through the pack in the slightly slower starting LMP3s, and Helio's gone past the number 31. That's second place Tristan Nunes, so he has made up the 2 positions. Castroneves has always been good on cool tyres, and these restarts are outstanding. And here's the battle for the lead. Helio Castroneves has really got the Michelins switched on, and he goes to the lead. He goes round the outside into turn 1. Cetilar Ferrari is off, and Team TGM is off as well. That's the 47 Ferrari and the TGM Porsche, both with difficulties there.
The Le Mans chicane.
At the newly named Le Mans chicane, absolutely.
Going very slow on the apron now as well, but they are on the apron, so they're at a safe distance there, so we should stay green here as well. But what a start from Helio Castroneves, the WeatherTech Porsche of Alessio Piccarello. So Michael Dinan in the BMW M4. They've had a difficult week, BMW, but my goodness me, he's getting his elbows out. Fantastic stuff as it's 3 wide in the DPIs heading on to the super speedway, John.
Joe Bradley has news from Aston Martin. Oh, there's problems for the Shankar. Chase just told me it was about to pit, and it's the rear left on that car. Joe, Aston Martin problems as well.
Yeah, the 98, the Northwest Aston Martin being pushed behind the wall. I can't see anything apparent on the car. That's never a good sign. I'll check it out.
Tyre and wheel itself. And he's got to try and get through the Le Mans chicane without everybody running into the back of him, which almost doesn't happen. BMW just about avoiding it. That was the 24.
Crew a time to get back, and oh, big wreck for the number 23. Harder Racing Aston Martin. Oh, right in the wall, and it is full force yellow.
That was coming out onto the speedway at turn 2. It all happened very, very quickly. And the speed there, you're gathering speed very quickly. So one prototype and 2 GT Daytonas there. Oh, and a big swipe, a secondary impact to Riberas and the heart of racing car. That's what's pulled the rear wheel off that car. We've got both Corvettes hunting as a pack there, and they're drafting each other to a better position into the Le Mans chicane. But round the outside, the Porsche is so quick and manages to go 3 of them. Down through the KCMG car that was trying to draft around the outside. 57 is the Winward Racing car. That's involved in it. Thank you to Shea. Huge incident down at it's the number 10. Is the Konica Minolta Acura. That was at turn 1. The short shoot. Oh, hang on a second.
That's a different.
We've got a McLaren. It's the critical McLaren has pulled off on the exit of Speedway turn 2, and he's cut to the inside. I think there is a gate in there that can get him back to the inside of the circuit.
Yeah, I think that's just about staying smart on your stints. Not clobbering the curbs on the out laps, and really just trying to stay out of the debris. There's been a lot of debris from these accidents, but yeah, keeping our nose clean just through and through is the way to go.
LMP car. Here comes Magnussen round the outside into turn 6. This will be a brave manoeuvre, and Jimmy just eased slightly to the right there and said to Kevin, "No thanks. I think we'll be carrying on." As now Kevin goes round the outside at turn 5 and heads into that position, takes it from 4th position in the category, and that is the WeatherTech car. I'm pretty certain that was side-to-side touch. Oh, no, it wasn't, but only because of the really heads-up driving by both of those drivers. The 15 car coming in has right of way, of course. It's about... That is... who's that in that car? Is that Owen in that car?
Yeah.
I think that might be his first stint. Yeah, Owen Trinkler. His first stint in the car. It's at the International Horseshoe. He just got in the car. Right. Meantime, a great battle. Not for class position, but the battle at GTD Pro continues. After the pit stop, Dennis Olsen is now ahead of Davide Rigon, so it's the number 2 KCMG Porsche on the pit stop cycle.
At turn 1, don't know, but that's a shame because that car had been running really, really well.
Into the Le Mans chicane on the far side of the circuit from us. There's a great DPI battle going on. Gets in. That will excite a lot of people. That'll do this race no harm. Side-by-side action on the banking. Down into turn 1. 31 wheeler Cadillac on the inside. 0-2 on the outside. The battle for second position. And there's no quarter being asked or given here. Mike Conway against Kevin Magnussen.
So the cycle of pit stops at the front of the field of DPI has now been completed. They're all kind of on slightly different strategies at the moment, but the 0-1 car back in front, with only a 7-second advantage over this fantastic battle for second place.
Which has just changed. The 0-2 has just gone through, under-braking into the Le Mans chicane.
The links are strengthening, Jeremy.
Let's have a look here. Maybe there's a replay coming up here because 8 seconds slower on that last. No, this is number 68 car running wider. That's in the 8th position.
G-drive.
I'm going to beat Alex Lynn off because he's not refiring properly. Is he going to make it out in a second? No, he's going to get passed by the Meyershank Racing Acura 2.
Oh, Alex Lynn just, I don't know if he was, I don't think it was a stall, but just couldn't quite get that big. And Alex Lynn leads the way down into turn 1, but it's a very, very tight squeeze. They almost touch. Tom Blomqvist looking to go around the outside there, but Lynn says, not on your life. That was so tight there between the Cadillac and the Acura.
And then losing a lap.
Uh-oh, yes, that is absolutely correct. Well spotted, Shea. So Ricky Taylor now already making his way down towards International Horseshoe, and the 0-2 Cadillac making its way. So I don't think the Cadillac crew were ready for that car. They seem to be scrambling around to reach the Michelin tyres and wheels. So the 0-2 car has been looking so strong over the last couple of hours, has got work to do. More action here at the 60th running of the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Wayne Taylor Racing lead here with 14 hours and 15 minutes to go. It's an Acura 1-2 as things stands, but they're going to change more and more and more. Jeremy, where are we through to on lead changes now? Because we must be well into double figures now.
Oh yeah, 22 lead changes.
22 lead changes, and we've got a big story here. The 31 Whelen Cadillac is off.
That's the only car of the top 7 that hasn't led the motor race. All the other 6 have done, and that was off in the boonies. There was a huge plume of dust as it tried to get back on. That was at turn 2, but it's back on the track and it is moving again, Peter.
And this is, we're not into the coldest part of the night yet.
That's very true. It's not going to be the coldest part. I think it's about sort of 6 or 7 in the morning, which is kind of surprising a little bit. But you know, in these cold temperatures, when the drivers leave the pit lane, they have got to be really careful, as number 5 cars just come out of the pits, not to overuse those tyres or abuse those tyres until they're fully up to temperature, which is exactly what Tristan Vautier has done there.
So where was Scott Huffaker for PR1? Matheson was 10 seconds behind. Now, he's in front of the safety car, and he'd hit the wall pretty hard at turn 1. There's a set of tyres that are placed specifically to try and stop cars going all the way through turn 1. Has got it. Cars cover. Here comes Earl Bamber to the right-hand side through the King, but thinks better of that. More traffic. That is the Tower Racing car. Gets round the outside of the horseshoe at the western end, and he drives past into the lead, as did Tristan Vautier. Spin for the 31. Whoa. And the 0-2. That's 2 of the major contenders. That's down at the west end, and that was contact. It's all kicking off with half an hour to go to half time. A real affirmation of the continuing partnership and respect between the ACO.
Yeah, was there contact there from behind?
Yeah, there was.
0-2 on the 31. It looked like
I think Bamber might be taking a penalty for that one. Not our call to make.
Well, that's been almost a standout so far. Within GT Pro, 3 cars absolutely locked together, and 1, Bruce Jones, going backwards into the bus stop chicane. That's quite a welcome to the race for you and I. Fly on the newer spec kit. 60 car very, very wide, and almost into the tyre wall. Now again, this is cold tyres. Bruce car fresh from the pits. It's Ollie Jarvis who is still leading by 5.4 seconds. That could have been disastrous. He should now be able to get back to the pit lane from where he is.
Okay.
So the 48, I just wonder whether there's some contact action that caused that spin, because there was another car off which I hadn't spotted first time around, maybe a GT car. So Kevin Magnussen looking like he was happy to settle to be in the draft of Philippe Albuquerque, and then at the last possible moment, it's not often you prevent Albuquerque from knowing exactly what's going on around into the Le Mans chicane, but he was caught by at least 1 DPI, possibly a couple. It was Pipa Durrani arriving high speed, and there's a spin for the second of those Porsches. The 79 cars, as I said, it was 9 car that was really struggling for the first couple of corners on the infield, and it has rotated into the Western Horseshoe, Bruce, under yellow flag conditions. Well, big incident. Is there a car on fire behind the scoring tower? There's an awful lot of black smoke, a plume of it, coming from an unidentified car to this point, and the response crews are very quickly arriving. Ray Wenzel Jr., who is looking after things as he always does so well, Rooftop Ray, says yes.
And gets round the outside. Buffalo Gals. Brilliant stuff from Tom Blomqvist.
The 31 Whelen car gets a touch from, I think it was the number 5 Mustang sampling machine. So Tristan Nunez off at the International Horseshoe gets a clip from behind, I'm fairly certain, for the number 5 of Tristan Vautier. Oh dear, John, in race control, having a look at that at the moment. Now, the 21 Ferrari, which had an issue a moment ago, had the 97 WeatherTech Mercedes behind it, and oh my word, the number 11 LMP2 of Josh Pearson.
Just out of the pits from serving his penalty.
No, was coming into the pits and pulled straight in front of the Ferrari. No, it was the 11 of Josh Pearson.
Sorry, it was the 11 of Josh Pearson. My apologies.
So the United car spun. It's the 22. I think is it Guy Smith driving that car? Yes, so Guy Smith. Le Mans 2003 Bentley boy Le Mans winner Guy Smith spins. So if it
they've been there or thereabouts all race, haven't they? Let's be honest with the 57 Mercedes. Then AF Corsa, Tony Vielander in 4th position. It's just another second further back. Now that's the
this is a replay of the
accidents
warning.
that happened earlier on for the warning for Tristan Vautier. So he's got to keep his nose clean now. Again, a dive down the inside of a GT car. He was way over the curb, Vautier.
Apparently Marcus said to me, he says, I beat your dog back in karting.
Yeah, he did as well. Yeah, that was just, I think that's gone under braking as he's come down to turn 1, and actually that's a pretty decent save by Benji. In fact, no, beyond that, it's a very good save. In fact, he could have gone sailing on, he could have over-braked, locked it up, spun it.
He's now having to defend, didn't quite manage to do it successfully into the Le Mans chicane, but now on the high side, the Acura getting good drive off that chicane because Conway's route through there was slightly compromised, I reckon. Can Conway stay to the inside? That straight line speed from the Acura does not look too shabby into turn 1.
Yeah, we had a few cars run into us through the night. I think 3 times we got knocked off the track, and of course that puts us in the very back.
Now neck and neck between the two Acuras, and Philippe Albuquerque willing the car on, pointing in the direction he wants to go. Did he get by?
This race last year, the LMP3 race here and the overall championship. So there's another look at this battle.
Cracking run and a manoeuvre from Philippe Albuquerque and Tom Blomqvist having the battle for 2nd and 3rd. So Blomqvist getting ahead. Conway and Albuquerque having the battle. Conway getting ahead for 3rd position. At the moment, it's Mike Conway round the top side this time for the Acura of Tom Blomqvist. Underneath our feet, down towards turn 1. He's ahead. Can he get the car pulled into the apex? He can't because of the BMW there, but he'll use that as a bit of a pick. One either side of the 24 RLL BMW, and Blomqvist is back into 3rd position in all of the classes. Loving the fact that the right Porsche is sitting in there. Jan Heelan's got a grandstand view of the battle for the lead. Lawrence Vanto 2nd for KCMG in the Pro category. Matthew Jaminet for Pfaff Motorsports. They are on the go for 4. Meantime, in GT, Pro, Plaid Porsche, and the KCMG car, that's Pfaff and KCMG, and a little bit of grass tracking there from Lawrence Vanto. Now that's a mistake at the Le Mans chicane. Ooh. And there was side-by-side contact with the Dragon.
Yeah, that was
racing car.
That was for the lead of the race.
That was for the lead of that class.
Colton Herta dive into the inside into the Le Mans chicane.
Just watching Andy Lally. He's 12.5 seconds back from Jan Heelan. I don't think that's going to be closed down, but that's a solid podium for Aston Martin.
Brilliant run for that team with a brand new car for Magnus Racing. It was a really good stint last evening by John Potter. Excellent stint by John, and since then, Andy Lally, his regular co-drivers there, Andy Lally and Spencer Pompelli.
For Lawrence Vanto. Now the cutback out of turn 1. Oh, this is as close as been. They're side by side. They almost touch through the chicane, and it looks like KCMG go through. There's a little bit of Porsche bodywork in the air. Oh, block pass by the KCMG number 2. And Lawrence Vanto leads, but for how long? Now it's the Pfaff car on the outside into the King. This could end badly for both of them, and eventually the Pfaff car has to give way. Now, has the leader gone past these guys? No, he has not yet. So they might have one more go at it, and it's side by side, and the Pfaff car at the same place that he lost the lead gets it back again. It's changed again, and Vanto has to do it all over again. Jaminet coming out of the International Horseshoe manages to elbow his way back to the lead. Oh, there's a little bit of a bump and run again at the western end of the infield, side by side. Surely not round the outside of turn 6. This could end in tears for Porsche. The Ferrari's closing in, and they may yet have one more lap, these two. They have not yet seen the white flag.
All right, so yeah, I was wondering whether there were some team orders here. The number 2 car is not going for the championship, the overall championship, certainly this season. The number 9 car most emphatically is, but judging by the way they were banging each other down there, no, perhaps not.
They've both got a number 2 illuminated on their number panels at the moment, so they were both second across the line. I've no clue how that happened. The leader is not that far behind them, and they're off the track. And then I'm on chicane. They're both off the track, right in front of the leader. Helio Castroneves has to go through, and there goes the Ferrari. KCMG are down to 3rd, and that slowed up the leader. That's an opportunity, maybe, for Ricky Taylor. He was 3 seconds behind. Now that will be looked at. Will there be an opportunity for Ricky Taylor? The checkered flag is out, and the 60th Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona goes to Acura and MSR with Kerr-Magajanian. The quest for 4 has been thwarted. The run ends at 3, and Faf win in GTD Pro. Second is going to be the Ferrari of Alessandro Pergini, Racing Competizione, and Lawrence Vanto limps the KCMG car home by just a couple of seconds to keep Vassar Sullivan's Lexus off the podium in GT Daytona. Jan Halen for Wright Motorsports Porsche wins it. Aston Martin Vantage, Magnus Racing, Aston Martin on the podium for the first time at this race. They've been trying for pretty much all of my life since 1964. The first time they came here, and the British brand, the cool brand, is on the podium. Magnificent by Magnus.
Yeah, he just turned into the corner and the two made contact, around he went.
Shea Adam is on the tri-oval with Helio Castroneves, winner of the 60th Rolex 24 at Daytona.
Well, Helio climbing the fence at Daytona, how does this one rank?
Oh my God, this is incredible. I mean, I cannot thank, again, everyone from Maya Shank Racing, Auto Nation Series XM, Arctic Wolf, the entire Acura people. They gave me an amazing car, and I just make it happen. I had amazing teammates, Tom, Oliver, and Simon. I mean, what a great, incredible race. It was very tough. I knew my friend Ricky was right behind. I knew his strengths. I said, okay, I never show him all I know. I never taught you all I know, but in the end of the day, it was a tough towards to the end of the race there.
Congratulations, a watch for each wrist.
Thank you.